If Giannis is out for extended time, is the Bucks season over?
I mean, it depends how long he's out in the playoffs, but I think this is actually a good thing for Milwaukee because Milwaukee wants no part of the 2 seed. They're an under 500 team with Doc Rivers coaching them, and he's well aware that the Sixers have now won 6 straight, and Embiid looks like he's the guy that we saw for the first 2 months of the season before he got hurt. So if you're the Milwaukee Bucks and you're not very well coached and you don't have that grit that people can lean on come playoff time, would you rather play a resurgent Sixer team in the first round and have them knock you out, or would you rather play the Indiana Pacers? I can tell you the answer right now. They'd rather be the 3 seed. Now, people like me, I ain't afraid of the 76ers. Bring them on.
Why not?
I'll slurp it up in the first round. I don't care who I play because I'm winning that series.
Ugh.
But people in Milwaukee, they don't want the smoke. Glenn Rivers doesn't want the smoke. And there's no doubt to me they've taken stock of who they are and what they are. And their last 3 games this year, they've got 2 games against Orlando and a game against Oklahoma City, legitimate playoff teams, right?
Yep.
So if they lost all 3 of those games, or 2 out of those 3, and the New York Knicks keep winning because they have an easier schedule, Bulls again, Brooklyn Nets, right?
Celtics tomorrow.
And the Celtics is the only, in theory, tough game on paper, and I'm not sure even if the Celtics are going to be playing their guys significant minutes. The Knicks become the 2 seed. Great accomplishment. And then what's your prize for being the 2 seed? You get the red-hot 76ers, who might not lose again this regular season, and solidify themselves as the 7 seed, right? Albeit play-in tournament, all that. I have no questions that the Sixers are going to be in the Final 8 because they're playing the best basketball, and they've got the longest win streak right now in the East. So the Giannis injury, of course, hurts. He's their best player. But there's always a silver lining. And the silver lining for a poorly coached team who wants no part of coaching against Philly in Philly, because the Sixer fans are going to be all over Glenn Rivers in the 3 games they'd play in Philadelphia. If the series went 7, obviously. He don't want that smoke. So I think Glenn Rivers is very happy for Milwaukee to drop back to 3 and have to face, as of right now, the Indiana Pacers in the first round. They don't want it. I'm all about it. Bring it on.
I do agree with you from the standpoint this may be good for the Bucks, but you also got to understand, like, this doesn't really hurt the Bucks because when Giannis is out of the lineup, they're 3-3, right? So this is 500 pretty much. But I think this is a big time for Dame Lillard to be the superstar we know that he can be.
Yeah, he can carry a team. We know that.
Can he do it right now when they need him most?
You're seeing, like, here's the fundamental problem with Milwaukee. They're soft, and they're not well coached. They're a game under 500 with Glenn Rivers as their head coach. And if you had a choice right now, I know this is a dangerous proposition. You never want to publicly say, I want you as my opponent, because now you want to give it to me, right? Sure. And I don't want to take it from you because it might hurt. Yep. That being the case, if I had a choice, would I rather play the Pacers in the first round or the red-hot Sixers? Yeah, the Pacers is the obvious choice there. And now Milwaukee might back themselves in to the 3 seed. They still avoid Boston until the Eastern Conference Finals if they got there, and it's an easier road to that Eastern Conference Final.
It's hard to disagree with that. I think that you would much rather play the Pacers than the Sixers in the first round.
No doubt.
And I think that Dame Lillard can carry a team by himself, but I disagree with one thing. You want Giannis to be healthy.
Of course you do.
You don't want him to be hurt. Like, it's not going to help the Bucks not have a healthy
I don't think
Giannis.
he's even really that hurt. Come on, what are we talking about? Your
The man
calf
collapsed on the floor.
I mean,
what do you need to see?
I ain't worried
let's
about
look at the video again.
You know what
it's
you
a
do?
non-contact injury.
You get some Tiger Balm. You slap it on.
Slap on some Tiger Balm.
You get a little thumb massage going on there.
Can you watch him grab his calf?
Yeah, come on.
We all thought he blew his Achilles.
Listen, you're telling me you never had a muscle cramp like that? And you went down?
I had one yesterday getting off the toilet.
Now.
Right.
It happens.
Right, exactly right.
Cramp.
Look, he's walking. If he tore his Achilles, he's not walking.
But he didn't finish the game, Craig.
Because he's soft.
But they need him. And they just lost to OKC in March.
Perhaps you didn't hear my brilliance a moment ago when they'd rather be the 3 seed than the 2 seed. Like the Knicks are not afraid of Philly. Bring it on. We'll take it. They're afraid of Philly. They want no part of Philly. Glenn's afraid of Philly, and Milwaukee's afraid of Philly. And I understand why. Sixers have won 6 in a row.
Yep.
Embiid looks like a rock star right now. And that team is going to go into the playoffs
rested.
humming.
Craig,
Yeah.
I know you're confident about the Knicks, But I'm afraid of Philly, too.
I'm not.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not.
But Isaiah
Stay on the porch.
against
Yeah, but we don't know how. I mean, Joel's rested and he's healthy.
He
it
looks
looks
good.
like. But at the end of the day, we still don't know how his knee's going to hold up in the playoffs. He's going to have to play back-to-back
Now,
nights.
as I say this, I also understand I'm being
him.
completely disrespectful to the Miami Heat, who are tied with Philly in the loss column. They both have 35 losses. But let's be honest, nobody cares about the Miami Heat.
The Heat aren't the Heat.
It ain't the bubble. Nobody cares about the
Heat
Miami
are not the
Heat.
Heat from last year.
No, I agree.
I can't believe that team made the finals last year.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh,
now.
they did.
So just
Yeah.
keep
They
an
beat the
eye.
Knicks.
Look, you're not going to see Giannis again until the playoffs, and miraculously, his calf is going to be touched by the hand of God, and he's going to reach down and make sure I can walk, and I don't limp, He's afraid of Philadelphia, and so is Glenn. 100% afraid of that town, and for good reason. They'll beat you up. There's a Lord above, and there's a Lord below. Yeah, that's right. Basketball's like religion to me, but that's just me. I'm working on a documentary about, you guys would know this guy. There's a guy in Mississippi, actually where your wife's from, named Eugene Sneaks, who is this legendary figure, kind of like in New York, a guy named Earl Manigault, who's the original GOAT. Who unfortunately had some drug issues and never made it to the pros. And this guy, Eugene Sneaks is what they called him, has been missing. And there's like a worldwide search for this guy who allegedly was all of 6'1" and could stack a thing of nickels on top of a backboard while jumping like higher than anybody else. So I'm doing a documentary trying to find him.
That man doesn't exist.
There.
Yeah, no one's. Yes.
What happened?
He 6'1".
I feel like I've seen that.
No, that's the point, Jacoby.
He cannot do that.
He could.
No, he can't.
It's the legend of Eugene Sneaks.
No, he can't.
Wasn't there a movie?
He could jump up with like a roll of quarters, nickels, whatever it is, and he could put it on top of the backboard. That's like 13 feet.
Who goes to the court with a roll of quarters?
Anyhow, I'm doing
this is not true.
I'm doing a documentary with Fox Sports.
It's going to be a very short documentary.
The search for Sneaks.
But who's hooping with change in their pocket?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Listen.
You made this up.
I once met a hooker who had rolls of quarters in her pocketbook. Now explain that to me.
Well, she got to make calls.
I wish that wasn't a true story, but it sadly is. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.